Welcome to Get More Happy. We invite you to journey with us as we find ways, big and small, to get more happy in your life.
Hey everyone, it's Elena
and Becca.
So today we are talking about perception versus reality. So we have thawed out in Texas. It's now like 70 something.
Yeah, it's within like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
It was 30 degrees and now it's 70 degrees.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
So Becca was able to come home, and we were talking about the things that could be seen as tragedies versus the things that were not tragedies, right? So in our lives, granted, we were extremely lucky. We live in a magic bubble, and we kept power because we live near a fire station, and
I kept power in my apartment.
We all had water, which most of the areas around us were under boil water. So we are very, very, very lucky. My one big thing was we had a flood, and that was of my own doing, accidentally. And I was trying to blast out half the faucet was working and half wasn't. And so I put it on full blast, and
I wasn't here for that part.
Forgot about it and went to bed. And so my husband woke up on his birthday to a flood. And, at the time...
That didn't have to do with the...
No, it didn't have to. Yeah. So it was of my making. I did that. And when we saw this, we had a choice, and we could be like, oh, how awful this is. The flooring has to be replaced. The flooring was trashed anyway and was going to be replaced anyway. We were all just laughing, and, luckily it was something we could take care of. We didn't need a plumber. We didn't, we were good. And in the midst of all this again, this could have been a very, very bad thing that happened, or I could see the humor in it. I was reading an article about this woman who felt like she had been bullied in school, and she's about my age, so this is a while ago, and how much it had colored her life. And just, that story that she just retold over and over again about, she had been bullied, and so she was very shy. The careers she chose, the interactions she chose, her entire life because of this identity of being bullied.
Yeah.
And so she started thinking about things, and she was curious as to what would happen if she interviewed everybody from her class. So she called up her main bullier, or Facebook, whatever, her main bullier, who didn't want to talk to her. And then she assured her, I'm not singling you out. I'm contacting everyone in our class. And so...
Sorry, I had food in my teeth.
So I knew what you were doing. So she contacted everyone, and in a lot of cases, the ones who were the bullies were very, very, I can't believe I did that to you. I think about it every day. Here's what was happening in my life. Here's what was causing me. Not that that's an excuse or anything, but I was acting out. And she also realized that some of the things that there were people that felt completely ignored. And there were people that she thought were very artistic, very musically inclined, this, that, and the other. And when she talked to those people, they were like, yeah, I just felt invisible. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever acknowledged me. I had no friends. I ate alone, all this stuff. And so she realized that she also, while enclosing herself in her own pain, contributed to these other people's pain by not recognizing them, So Becca and I were talking about that, and Becca had some epiphanies.
Yeah, some similar stuff happened to me in school, and, where I felt ignored, or, like people were, being mean or whatever. And she was like, tell me about that story, and I kind of had an epiphany that maybe that wasn't, really what, the issue, the issue was, and how, our perception of certain events or of certain people isn't necessarily the whole story. Like, we only see what, through our own eyes, and we can't really see, like, maybe what's going on in someone else's life, or, like, a situation. Like, we can't, see the other side of it.
And in addition to that, when you keep telling the same story over and over again, because as you said, that you at times felt ignored, felt not appreciated, and that you at times identified that as bullying.
Correct.
And then when we started talking about this, you're like, okay, that wasn't the correct word.
It wasn't it wasn't necessarily that. It was just, and and you never know, maybe, and it's never an excuse, but
right.
What's going on in someone else's life during that time. And I, recognized that it wasn't bullying that was the issue for me. It was,
feeling unappreciated.
But that, that's not necessarily.
So how would it color your life? You're 20 now. How would it have colored your life if we hadn't had this talk, that you had kept that word bullying without really identifying that it really wasn't at that magnitude, and you went another 30 years telling yourself that you had been bullied? Like, where, I'm not, like, really asking you, it's rhetorical, because I saw you go,
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how to answer that.
But,
I would have just gone throughout my life thinking I was bullied.
But what parts of your personality could that have colored? I mean,
interaction with other people.
Exactly. It could have colored a lot of future relationships. So we were discussing how, what a blessing it is to see that at 20, and to then see how we can apply that to the people and the events of today. So again, granted, bad things happen always. They do. It's just part of life. And there are some things that are true tragedies. I don't want to lessen, here we are, like I said, I live in a magic bubble, but I have a lot of the people around me that really, like, their pipes burst. They have true damage to their house. Flood, ceiling flooding, rooms that are, unlivable right now. People who have medical issues that...
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
I was gonna say that, like, your, like, perception and recognizing that your point of view isn't, the reality and the whole story. Like, we were totally fine. But other people, that, like, allows you to, like, have, more compassion for other people and to, like, understand people better. And, because we didn't have any issues, but recognizing that there were issues that other people were having.
Right.
So, like, our eyes, like, we were totally fine. Like, nothing was wrong.
Yeah.
But then, like, recognizing that's not the whole story.
And like I said, with this little flood that we had, I could have made it into a tragedy. I had that choice. First of all, I could have not taken credit for the blame. There were other people living here that knew I had blasted the faucets, and all of us went to bed with the faucets open. I'm the one who did it. I am taking responsibility for it. But I could have very much put myself in the role of a victim as well. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. All of us screw up, right?
Honestly, I don't know how bad it was because I wasn't here for it.
It was pretty significant.
Yeah.
And again, it's only the floors and they needed to be replaced anyway. And, but I could put this as my story of this snowpocalypse. I could put this as the definition of what happened to me, that I was a victim. Whereas I'm not. I was blessed. I choose to see it as I was blessed.
And for me, like, I was in my apartment in college and we had power the whole time. We had water the whole time. And, the only thing for me was I felt lonely during the week because we were housing some people that didn't have power, and so my roommates were with them, and so I felt lonely all week, and it was hard for me, but when you're comparing it to like what happened to other people, like we had power so we could eat, and we had water, so
Yeah.
it's just interesting to like look at the other perspectives of other
Exactly.
people.
Exactly. So we challenge you guys. We challenge you guys to look at the stories you've been telling yourselves from the past, or the ones that are starting today. Think about, is this really reality? Is there a way that you can change your perception of the event, of the person? And how can that benefit you? I mean, again, not trying to lessen the true tragedies, because they are there, and we know they're there. We're not naive.
Right.
We've lived true tragedies ourselves, or at least I have. You haven't that much, but yeah.
It's beside the point.
It's beside the point. So, we challenge you to, where can you rewrite the story? And let us know. Add it into the comments on whatever media platform you happen to be seeing this on.
We want to hear your stories.
We do. We want to hear your stories. Have a happy day.